Have you ever looked at your life and quietly asked yourself why you keep ending up with people who drain you? Why certain individuals always seem to land in your world, take your energy, and leave you feeling smaller than before? Maybe it's a partner who always takes more than they give, a friend who appears only when they need something, or a family member who somehow manages to dim your light whenever you shine. And somewhere inside you, almost whispered, lives that painful question. What is it about me that attracts this? What if the answer isn't what you think? What if it isn't about being weak, but about being bright? Imagine yourself as a lighthouse, a steady, warm, reassuring light. A light people feel safe around. But a lighthouse doesn't attract only stable, solid ships. It also attracts broken, lost, and confused ones. The ones that can't hold their own course. They see light, so they move toward it. They don't wonder what it costs the lighthouse to keep shining. They don't ask themselves whether they might crash into it. They simply see stability in the middle of their storm, and they cling to it. Toxic people often do the same. They are drawn to something in you that feels rare to them. Your patience, your depth, your calm, your ability to understand what others can barely articulate. They feel it before you even realize you're giving it. The problem is not that you shine. The problem is that some people approach your light without knowing how to respect it. What many people don't realize is that toxic individuals don't listen to your words. They listen to your silences. They pay attention to where you step back, where you swallow your truth, where you offer understanding instead of boundaries. In your silence, they hear, "I'll manage," or "It's okay," or "I won't push back." They hear the permission you never intended to give. And because they desperately need someone who absorbs their chaos, they take your silence as a sign that you'll quietly hold everything they can't hold for themselves. But the story goes deeper. Sometimes we attract the wrong people not because of who we are today, but because of what felt familiar long before we could name it. We are often drawn to what resembles our emotional past. If you grew up around tension, unpredictability, or instability, then emotional chaos can feel strangely normal. Not safe, but familiar. And the body confuses familiarity with comfort. So you may feel drawn to personalities that recreate those early patterns. Not because they nourish you, but because they echo something your nervous system recognizes. Without noticing, you repeat emotional cycles that once shaped you, thinking you're choosing freely, when in truth, old wounds are choosing for you. And then there is the most misunderstood part of all. The reason you attract toxic people is often not because something in you is broken, but because something in you is too healed. You have a heart that wants to help, a heart that believes people can change, a heart that sees potential instead of danger, and kindness instead of manipulation. You have a healer's instinct, a caretaker's intuition, a natural desire to bring harmony where there is pain. But to someone who refuses to face their own darkness, your light becomes a shortcut. They want the stability you offer without doing the work themselves. You end up becoming medicine for people who never intended to heal. And eventually you find yourself drained, confused, and wondering how you got here again. What toxic people sense very quickly are your fears. Not because they're evil, but because recognizing vulnerabilities helps them survive. They notice who avoids conflict, and they raise their voice. They notice who fears losing connection, and they pull you close just to push you away. They notice who fears disappointing others, and suddenly you become responsible for their emotions. They study you quietly, patiently, strategically, and then they press exactly where you hesitate. And then one day, a moment of awakening arrives. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's a quiet night alone. Maybe it's a sudden realization while driving your car or washing dishes. A moment where you finally see the pattern, where the puzzle pieces fall into place, where you understand that this isn't random, and it's not just your fate, it's a cycle, and cycles can be broken. You change your energy, the people you attract change too. Toxic people are not drawn to someone who loves themselves fully. They're drawn to someone who doubts themselves quietly. The moment you stop abandoning yourself, they lose their hold on you. So how do you stop the pattern? It begins with giving your voice space. You don't need to raise it. You don't need to fight. You simply need to honor it. Boundaries spoken gently are still boundaries. And when you say things like, "This doesn't work for me," or "I need a moment to think," or "That crossed a line," you are not creating conflict. You are creating clarity. Continues with learning to listen to your body before you listen to anyone's excuses. Your body knows the truth before your mind tries to rationalize it. If someone makes you shrink, tighten, or second-guess yourself, that sensation is not random. It is a signal. You stop attracting toxic people the moment you stop being everyone's caretaker. You are allowed to help others, but you are not required to rescue people who refuse to rescue themselves. When you stop being an emotional first aid station, you stop feeding relationships that survive only when you give more than you should. And one of the most powerful tools is recognizing red flags early. Minimization, manipulation, control, imbalance, emotional games. Not explaining them away, not blaming yourself. Simply acknowledging reality as it is, without sugarcoating it. But above all, the transformation begins when you choose yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a self-respecting way. When you become your own safe place, toxic people lose their ability to hook you. They don't know what to do with someone who doesn't need their approval or validation. When you grow into your worth, the wrong people naturally fall away. And so this story that began with the painful question, "Why do I attract toxic people?" evolves into something else entirely. You stop needing to prove your value. You stop carrying people who refuse to walk. You stop fixing those who break themselves again and again. For the first time, you choose relationships that lift you instead of relationships that drain you. You stop being the lighthouse that helplessly attracts broken ships, and you become a person who consciously chooses who gets close, who stays, and who does not deserve to stand in your light. And the most beautiful part is this. When you change the way you treat yourself, the world around you rearranges. Not only the people you attract, but the person you become.